Jalen Hurts is the quarterback at Alabama. Halftime of the national championship game, Tua takes his job, and the rest is history. So I think on some level, they will always be compared to each other.
Big time.
But I think a lot of people are wondering about Jalen Hurts. You see the trajectory, and you expect it to keep going this way. What are you seeing as he just does not seem to look the same as he did a year ago?
You know, I love tape. Jess's was amazing. I want mine to be just as good.
Okay.
They got to get Jalen back to climbing up in the pocket. They're two big game hunting offense when it comes to their pass game wise. You go back to the Jets game last week, and there's one play that kind of exemplifies it very much so. Just watch Davante Smith. He's in the slot. We're going to call this a big field post. He's going to come to the bottom of the screen. Jalen's going to hold this ball for 4 seconds. That's an eternity in the NFL. And he's trying to get that safety to drive up. What happens? You hold it, the ball goes tipped up in the air, it's an interception. But really pay attention to this. So A.J. Brown at the bottom of the screen is running a little bit of an in route. He's trying to get that safety to commit to covering that in and to throw that field post. But right when he drives it, the ball should be out now. Then if you throw it now to space, it's 3 seconds and we're good. Jalen, climb the pocket, get it out, and you've got a touchdown. But you hold the ball for so long, then that pass rush gets there. And in that moment, I go, Jalen, I just want you to get up in that pocket for just a fraction. Okay, there's 2 underneath defenders. We've got an in route coming at the top of the screen. If Jalen just climbs the pocket here 1 step, he's going to float the ball over those linebackers, and it's going to be a huge chunk. Instead, he stays back in that pocket and throws that swing route. For some reason, the feel of that has gone away this year. They can't think that they can play pass game-wise, offensively, and win a playoff game. Not right now with the way their offense is going.
You know what it reminds me of, to some degree, and Kmart, I know how much you like Jalen Hurts and how much you've talked a lot about Josh Allen on our show over the course of time. And when Josh Allen lost that voice in his ear for a little while, it felt like it sort of went a little bit sideways, right? When Brian Daboll left Buffalo to become the coach. How much do we think that Jalen right now might miss Shane Steichen, who is the offensive coordinator, who's doing a terrific job now as the head coach in Indianapolis? Does that feel like a factor here?
It is a factor. And I'm not concerned about Jalen and the Eagles necessarily, but I just don't, the situation bears watching because I don't know how long it's going to take for that chemistry between Brian Johnson and Jalen to get better. Brian was on the staff, so it's not like he's a new person, but there's a difference. We talked about this is a team that lost two coordinators. And everyone thought, well, if they were in the Super Bowl, like, they'll figure it out. But you did see it in Buffalo. You did see Josh Allen, Ken Dorsey. Like, they have to learn each other. Who do you listen to? Who gets to say, like, you know what, I don't really want, that's not what I feel comfortable with. Like, that is a change. But for me, what I want to see from Jalen is, what did they do last year? The Eagles rode his legs and his arm to the Super Bowl. He rushed for 3 touchdowns. That was a quarterback record in the Super Bowl. And for me, that's what I want to see. I want to see Jalen get back to what we saw last year. But I don't know if part of that is that chemistry offensively with his new coordinator.
I'll go right to a place that I know is near and dear to your heart. Last week, in a game that they led the entire game against the Jets, they threw the ball almost 50 times and ran it 22. This is a team that ran the ball as effectively as any team in the league last year. That's the part of it I don't understand.
Yeah, it's the consistency in which they commit to the running game. I think that is a huge part of the Philadelphia Eagles offense. When the Philadelphia Eagles are at their best, they have a balance to their offense when they're able to run the football. We actually saw earlier in the year when they played, I believe they played Tampa. Like, they ran the ball for like over 200 yards against Tampa Bay. That is Philadelphia at their core. When they're able to do that, that's when they maximize everyone around them. So they got off kilter against the Jets. I don't know why. It seemed like they're having some inconsistencies in that area. They need to get back to that.
Yeah, I think the staple for their offense right now has to be the run game, right? Because it's not what we've seen last year. And also, Dan, I like that you mentioned they like to go big game hunting.
Yeah.
In 2022, there was on numerous of occasions where Jalen Hurts would get that football and boom, I'm going to hit my guy right now. I'm going to take what the defense gives me. And I think they have to get back to that. I love last year, they used to go 5 wide a lot, and they used to put Davante Smith to the slot to the short side of the field. When he was isolated on safeties and linebackers and just picked on that matchup. They got to get back to things like that in order to be where they want to be at the end of the year.
Philosophically, this is a different offense this year. It absolutely is. The Brian Johnson has changed this offense. The RPOs are gone. This was the best RPO team in football last year, run-pass option. They averaged 90 yards a game. That's a ton. That's in half this year. The zone read is gone. And so we're talking about big game hunting. This was a very explosive offense last year when they could, not when they felt they had to. Yep. The efficiency of the pass game in this offense is not representative right now. There's a lot of things in this offense I believe in. Their offensive line is spectacular. I believe in Jalen Hurts' demeanor in his development, and I believe in A.J. Brown's dominance. I want to see Davante Smith. So, am I concerned, Greeny? No, I'm not concerned, but there's issues. I have them right here. There's issues. There's way less RPO and zone read. That means there's way less efficiency in their pass game. That means there's way less rhythm in their offense. And Davante Smith, for some reason, isn't a part of their pass game.
And the other piece of this, and I want to come back to what you just said about the RPO and the run game.
It's gone.
It's gone. And that's a conscious decision. That's not something that has been taken away. So you have to say to yourself, why would you do that? Why would you take the thing we were best at a year ago? The only explanation that makes sense to me is that they're worried their quarterback is getting hit too much, and they want to try and mitigate that, particularly early in the season, and maybe we start seeing more of it as the year goes on. I'm going to give you a minute to sort of think that through. And there was a lot that he said there, but the most important and interesting part of it to me was, I don't judge this thing by wins and losses. I judge it by my own greatness. And that feels like something that you could easily say, well, that's a pretty selfish statement for a person to make. The Raiders are having a surprisingly good season in the wins and loss column. You tell me what you heard there.
Well, first of all, that talent is allowed to be selfish because he should be featured each and every game because he is that damn good, Greeny. And I don't know, Dan, if it was last game or the previous game, but he was one-on-one on the backside.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Garoppolo never looked his way, and he basically made the DB fall down. It would have been a wide-open touchdown on the go route. That's inexcusable in my opinion because if Davante Adams is one-on-one with anybody, that football should be going to him first and foremost.
Kmart, I'm going to ask the same question.
You want a different answer this time?
No, I'm not. I want the answer that you have. Are we okay with the players saying, hey, look, yeah, we won, but that's not the way I judge this stuff. I judge this stuff by how great I am.
Listen, wins and losses are important, but imagine being that special. Imagine being one of the best at your position. Why do you think Jamar Chase said, I'm like 7-Eleven, I'm always open? Why do you think the next week, CeeDee Lamb, guess what? I'm like 7-Eleven too. Why do you think Stephon Diggs is in Buffalo, frustrated with himself and also frustrated with the offense at times? Why do you think A.J. Brown is looking around like, hello? Because you pay special guys special money to do special things. And when you are rare, this is rarefied air. Like I can't even imagine being that great at something, but when you are that special, you do understand that I should be a big part of this because you paid me to be here and be a big part of it. And if we were just talking about CeeDee Lamb. Do the Cowboys realize he's on their team? Well, they did on Sunday.
7 targets, 7 catches. They
out the gate.
But Jamar Chase said that after they lost, and CeeDee Lamb said that after they lost. The Raiders are winning, and Davante Adams is basically saying, I don't measure this that way. You're an offensive lineman. You good with this?
We're a different breed than wide receivers. we're a different breed.
What the hell do you mean?
We're used to being underappreciated. But listen, Greeny, I have no problem with it. Like, this dude is great, man.
Yes.
Like, he's great. All he's basically saying is, can y'all please throw me the damn ball consistently? Like, please, like, when you throw me the ball, good things tend to happen for us as a team. He has an ego. Like, all these special players have big egos. They just want to be a part of this, a part of what's going on out there. You're getting paid a ton of money. Throw me the ball.
They don't want to be a part. He wants to be the focal part, as he should be.
He should be. He's getting paid to be that.
As he should be the focal part. This dude is not only one of the best players, he's also one of the best people that the NFL has.
Yes.
And that the Raiders are very much so lucky to have him in their organization. This goes back to last year. I remember talking about this last year. There would be plays that they're not even looking towards Davante Adams' way. There should not be a play for the Raiders who, outside of Jacoby, aren't super talented at the skill position, like wide receiver-wise. There should not be a route that Davante Adams isn't a focal point for their football team. And Green, let me say this real quick. We'll jump in. Winning covers a lot. Just because you win doesn't mean there aren't problems or issues going on with your football team. So whether you win or lose, the problem has to be addressed so the losses don't show themselves in 2 or 3 weeks. Because just because you're winning doesn't mean that the person who should be getting the lion's share of the touches is getting a lion's share of the touches.
Let me tell you something.
I got 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Josh McDaniels came from New England.
Yeah.
Okay? You didn't think Tom Brady threw the damn Randy Moss? Like,
Or Rob Gronkowski.
Right. He made sure he was going to feed those guys the ball.